Hello and welcome back to the studio. Today I'll be showing you how to use oil pastels for figurative faces and flowers, and I'm using the 60 color set oil pastels from Van Gogh. These are all the colors I use today, but you can use any color that you like. I'll be taking you through all my oil pastel blending techniques and tips on how I use them for faces and flowers. So get out your oil pastels and let's start painting. So I took this color, it's a warm gray, and I just traced over the lines of her face, and then I just go over it with a blending stump just to soften up the lines. So you can use a blending stump or your fingers, basically. You can even use a cloth, whatever you have on hand. Then I'm going to take this color. It's like a warm yellow. And then I take this color, it's actually called Scarlet, and it's the closest light skin tone that was in my 60 set Van Goghs. These two colors were the closest I came to like a light skin tone color. Then I go over everything, I blend it with this white pastel. This will just soften up her cheeks and her overall coloring, and I basically just add color to those sections. I don't actually apply color to her entire face. I'm just going to leave the rest of her face white, the white of the paper. The Van Goghs, I would say, would be a medium quality. They're quite good, but they do leave a bit of a wax and binder behind, so I just take a soft brush and wipe that away. I do have a full tutorial on 8 ways how I blend oil pastels, so I highly recommend that you watch that video after that, and I'll leave the link in the description. Okay, so onto the lips. I'm just going to keep her very natural, and I'm going to take that same color of scarlet and yellow, and I'm just going to leave her lips very natural looking. And I'm just going to go over it with the white just to blend it all out together. Now onto the eyes. Here I'm going to use this blending technique called stippling. I'm going to apply dots one on top of the other, and I'm going to work my way from dark to light. I like using this method for the eyes because they are quite small, and the dots are a great way to add detail. Yet at the same time, it gives my artwork a little bit of an artsy touch. Okay, now I'm just going to work a little bit of shadow under the eye, and then I'm going to go in with my blending stump and just blend everything together. I'm going to make sure that my white pastel is nice and clean, so I'll clean it off with a nice tissue, and I'll leave a little bit of highlights in her eyes. I'm going to repeat the same process on the other eye, so I'll just speed up this process here. Okay, onto the hair now. I'm doing a very simple hairstyle, and I'm not going to add too many details. I'm basically just going to add in lines to suggest that she does have hair, and this is just going to add to the whole look of her face, which is very figurative and not realistic. For the eyebrows, I'm going to take my oil pastel, and I'm just going to make small little tiny strokes sideways. For the eyelashes, I'm just going to add just a couple of lines to suggest that she has a few eyelashes, because it's very hard to add those details with oil pastels, I find. And I think just by adding a couple of lines to suggest eyelashes is enough to suggest that she has lush lashes. And it really works for this non-realistic face. So I will blend in those eyebrows, and I'll take my tiniest blending stump. I have a number 2 blending stump, and I'll just go over it and I'll just soften up those eyebrows just so they're not as harsh. I like to clean my cleaning stumps after using it, especially with a really bright color. So I'll just take a sanding paper and I will just clean it off by rubbing it around and around. Again, I do show more of this technique in my how to blend oil pastels video. And I really love this eraser. It just cleans off your artwork, cleans off your fingers, and it's really great to have. This is an art eraser. Mine is from Faber-Castell. Okay, so onto the flowers now. I'll be blending by using a pastel on pastel technique. I'm going to start off with a dark color, and then I'm just going to go over it by applying a lighter color over that, and I'm pressing quite hard to get those colors to blend together. You can use any color again. I love pink, so and well, of course pink is great for flowers, right? So here I'm gonna go in with my purple, and I'm just going to blend it all in together. So for the flowers, I used these colors. If you're using the Van Gogh set, I used red violet, another darker red violet, a blue violet, an ultramarine violet. I find these colors were more on the cooler side, and therefore I find that they worked really well together. Also, I find that they really worked with her warm red hair. So those two contrasting cool versus warm really bring out the illustration a lot more. Now for the leaves, I basically go through the same process of using a dark and then go over it with a light. Because they're very tiny, I do blend them out with my tiny blending stump. Here I'm just adding a little bit of highlight on the top of the leaves. Now onto her headband. I'm just going to make it a light pink, almost the same color as her skin tone, and I'm using the scarlet and the yellow again, and I'm just going to work starting from the darker pink, and then as you saw in the middle I added the yellow, and then I'm going to blend it all out with the white. And I'm really going to blend in that white, especially on top of her head where I guess the sun would hit. And I decided to add a few freckles because I just love freckles and I think they're cute. So I'm going to add even a highlight on her nose, on her lip, and a little bit, I'm just going to brighten up her eyes with just a few more touches of white highlight. And I'm just going to brush it off everything with my soft brush. I added a few highlights in her hair as well. When I'm done, I just clean it off with my kneadable art eraser. Oil pastels are great when you just want to paint something fast and quick and bold and fun. And I really had a whole bunch of fun making this video for you. Give it a like if you liked this, and check out my other video of how I blend oil pastels 8 ways. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy that. Please leave your comments. I love hearing from you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!